The court has made it clear that it will not tolerate any more attempts to stall the survey, going as far, viewers, as to lay down exact modalities of how the fact-finding exercise will be conducted. Here's the anatomy of the Gyanvapi survey. No Tariq pe Tariq anymore. The survey to be beginning from May 13th, report by 17th of May. Survey to be conducted daily between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. Pictures, videos to be taken wherever the petitioners seek. Mosque basement to be unlocked and videographed. Very important. If someone says basement keys are missing, then the locks have to be broken. The survey will continue irrespective of petitioner's availability. Now, viewers, let's open this up, because there is also an important addendum to all of this. And that addendum seems to suggest that this exercise will be carried out not just by the commissioner, who was deemed biased, but also two more. So more teeth has been added to those who are going to be undertaking this survey, or to the survey itself rather. So viewers, that is very, very important. And the court has said that there will be an FIR against anyone who tries to block the survey. The DGP will oversee the security provided for the survey, and the DM personally will be liable to ensure the service happens. If it doesn't, the state will be punished. So that is really what we know. And I want to open this up, and I want to go straight across to Dr. Subramanian Swamy, former member of the Rajya Sabha, as also other guests. But first to you, Dr. Swamy, this is an important landmark verdict that has come out. Many people are saying that this is to have been expected, because in India today, you have a situation where the majoritarian mindset rules. It predominates.
Well, I don't know these catchphrases which are trotted around, what was happening all these last 70 years. All that is happening is that the majority is 80%, and if you include Sikhs and Jains and Buddhists, it's 82%. And that's a huge percentage. And if they don't have any say in what they have in terms of what they want to rectify of the past, which is rectifiable. I mean, there are many things we can't rectify. But certainly temples which were not any temple. There are about 40,000 temples, of which I myself have a list. But from the beginning, the top sadhus of our country said 3 are extremely important, and no more than 3. Ram Janambhoomi, because that's where Ram was born. And our faith says Ram was born there, and there's no dispute of that. Krishna Janambhoomi, because that's where Krishna was born. And faiths of Hindus say he was born there, and there's no dispute on that. And finally, Kashi Viswanath, where the Jyotirling was sent by Lord Shiva himself in 12 places in the country. Only one is in dispute. At the time of freedom, we had also a dispute in Somnath, but then Somnath, Sardar Patel got it very cleared very quickly, and Somnath Temple was rebuilt. But here, it has been lingering on. Gyanvapi is sacred for us. Mosque is a place to read namaz. And in many countries, they will tell you, like Turkey, even Saudi Arabia, that we are entitled to demolish a mosque. And this is also there in the Constitutional Bench judgment of 1994, the so-called Ram Janambhoomi judgment. So therefore, a temple of the kind of which these 3 were, they cannot be replicated. You can have Ram Mandirs all over the country, but it will not be Ram Janambhoomi temple. So same thing, Krishna Janambhoomi. Right. And these 12 are what our scriptures say Lord Shiva implanted. So therefore, this is a step towards that. this does not get you the right to recover the Gyanvapi premises. It is only when we remove that act which was brought in by Narasimha Rao, holding that no, except for Ram Temple, no other temple or religious place can be altered if it was existing on 15th August 1947. That I have challenged in the court. It's unconstitutional. It violates, in fact, the most important section of the Constitution, the fundamental rights category, and therefore, once it is heard, I'm sure we'll get a free way to liberate Kashi Viswanath from the premises it's presently in.
Okay, Dr. Swamy, thank you. Grateful to you for joining us this evening and putting this entire story into perspective. He separated, viewers, the facts from the fiction that is being trundled and put out there by a large number of individuals. What are they saying? They're saying that, oh, this opens a Pandora's box, that this will mean that the Gyanvapi mosque will be brought down. They're also trying to whip up Muslim sentiments, viewers, by suggesting that there will now become a domino effect. That means Hindus will start going temple by temple to knock down mosques, because they believe that every mosque is built on a temple. That's what they'll say. Viewers, there are also others who are saying that the entire process is loaded against, the entire legal process is loaded against the Muslim community and their interest and militates against that. We were hearing earlier in the day a large number of people coming out and saying on this channel that, oh, every court in the land is now packed by those that are militating against us. Remember, viewers, someone like Asaduddin Owaisi had come out and said that faith has won over facts. And this was on the back of the Ayodhya verdict. You might remember that, viewers. That is what he said, imputing tacitly motives to the court itself. Now I want to open this up because there are some basic questions to be asked. And I want to begin first with Abdul Razack Khan. Mr. Khan, judgment passed by a local court in Varanasi. This judgment follows the High Court's decision which allowed for a survey. Why is the committee so upset with this order when it emphasizes due process and all it does is to call upon, in fact, a survey? That's all. What's the problem?
That is not the thing. Now, Rahul, first of all, we are still to cope up with the Barbri Masjid Ram Janambhoomi verdict. We still feel that we have been cheated. The reason we kept quiet is because of the promise that we gave that after the Supreme Court verdict, we would not question anything. So we are content with the Supreme Court verdict, but still disheartened inside.
No, one second.
Now,
Mr.
not
Khan
even,
cheated.
2
No,
years down the line, there is
Who are
one
you
more thing
cheated
coming
by?
up.
Just clarify. Who are you cheated by?
It is a feeling inside, internal feeling. Because we felt that the court would listen to the Muslim side and decide the title suit. But it was given, judgment was given on faith. We are content with it. But still there is a feeling inside. Nobody can do anything for that. I am being very honest with you tonight. Now,
how are you saying that the judgment was given on faith,
like
sir? Sir, this would be tantamount to undermining the due process of law which was followed. Remember, this entire matter went on for about 100+ years.
We have totally gone through this, Rahul. We have gone through this.
No, we haven't gone through this because you're raking it up in a manner which misrepresents what the court did. 5-judge bench, sir. There were even, no, hang on. There were even Muslims on the bench. Have you forgotten? You called for the reconstitution of the bench. The bench was reconstituted because the Muslim community wanted that bench to be more...
Perfectly, yes.
Yes, so then are you saying that Muslim justices also...
Rahul,
set aside
we still feel that we were cheated because on the night of 23rd December 1949, the idols were placed inside the mosque and it followed on and on. Let us not get into it. Now coming to this, by entertaining a plea like this today, you know, Hindu side says that there were 33,000 temples which were demolished by the Mughal rulers. So why should the Muslims of today pay for the acts committed by the ancient rulers? I am saying there was a mosque here in Mangaluru, about 300 kilometers from Bangalore, and they were doing some renovation work in the compound wall. By digging the compound wall, something like a Hindu sculpture was found. And it is
this
stalled.
Is not an attempt, you
like
know this
is
not an attempt to immediately change the character of the mosque. It is only a survey that is being undertaken at the request of 5 petitioners.
But I have 2 to 3 questions, Rahul. If Aurangzeb had to really demolish a temple, he would have demolished entirely. Why would have demolished only a portion of the temple? Come on, as if he did not have money, he went on with the construction. They had so much of money.
Maybe that was the whole point.
So why would they demolish?
Maybe that was the whole point. The point was to
but there are many Mughal rulers.
One particular
Rahulji,
community
there are many
by
Mughal rulers
making
who
it very
married
visibly clear
Hindu women.
Who the that was perhaps deliberately done to taunt forever perhaps one particular community.
How can we come to a conclusion?
To suggest,
like
one second. To suggest to them,
Hindu-Muslim
that we are the conquerors.
A new religion, Hindu-Muslim religion.
And we can walk over any of your sites, even the holiest of holy sites. Why was it demolished in the first place? Tell me, Mr. Razack Khan. What was the motive?
Okay, all right, Rahul, let me tell you, any place of worship in Islam, built or constructed by disheartening or breaking somebody's heart is not welcome in Islam. And to my knowledge, Mughal rulers, some of them were very patriotic, very religious,
they were knocking
very
down
pious.
Temples.
So what I'm saying is no king should go ahead and do like this.
They love the Hindu community. So the person that you're talking about is Mr. Aurangzeb. One Mr. Aurangzeb who imposed jizya on non-believers, that is on Hindus who refuse to convert. Have you forgotten?
Rahul, ancient times, if you go ahead and read history, a king like Ashoka had Kalinga war where there was the maximum amount of bloodshed.
Yes, and what did he do?
He killed Hindus, so you cannot say that Ashoka was not a
He
Hindu.
renounced violence. He renounced violence. Aurangzeb continued. Nonetheless, let me bring in GVL Narasimha Rao.
But still he
Member of
killed
Parliament,
Hindus.
GVL Narasimha Rao wants to respond to Mr. Razack Khan. Okay, let's get a response in. Let's get the first response in. You pose questions. Why wouldn't Aurangzeb have demolished the entire structure? Why would he have only left, visible traces of the fact that there was a temple? Is your first question. Number 2, we have lost faith in the judiciary, says Abdul Razack Khan, because it's broken our heart. Because in fact, it gave primacy to faith, not law. 2 questions for you.
Yeah, Rahul, the first question, why was this not demolished entirely, was possibly a ploy, was done deliberately to rub salt into the wounds of Hindus, to make them see it for themselves, how their place of worship has been taken over by Islam. I think maybe this was a visible expression of their hate towards the Hinduism. So it could have been done deliberately, not that they did not know how to demolish the entire temple. Point number 2, I think the court verdict, it was based on principles of jurisprudence. For anyone to claim that this was done on faith is entirely trying to defame the court, the Supreme Court, and all those who made these claims prior to the judgment that we will abide by it. We have seen how they have been coming out and criticizing it. And as far as Gyanvapi is concerned, I would like to ask our friend Razack, have you ever been to Varanasi? Have you seen this Gyanvapi?
Demolished all the temples, sir, of the empire.
No, I don't know if you are wishing it that way.
Military might.
Are you wishing that they failed in demolishing the entire
all the temples?
Are you wishing
sir,
it that way?
They did have respect. The major governor generals of many of the Mughals.
They did what all they could do, Razack.
They cannot contend that they
had the same mindset that you seem to have today.
Akbar ke niche kaun tha? Raja Man Singh.
They seem to have similar intolerance.
Sir, Hindu debate. Sir, suniye na.
No,
No,
I
one
want to
second.
ask Razack. Have
One
you
second.
been to Gyanvapi?
Hindu kings.
Have you been
Hindu
to
kings
Varanasi?
had Muslims
I
as
can
their
vouch
governors.
any
Muslim
Hindu on
kings
this panel.
had Hindus as their governors.
Most Hindus in this country, either have gone to Varanasi or is their life ambition, life wish.
Sir, to
one
my
second
understanding,
go to
what's
Varanasi.
happening in
Tell
India
me,
today
how many
is
Muslims would have
an
gone to
expression,
Gyanvapi?
a display of
This
might
was
of the
I think this was
majoritarian
done
mindset.
Okay, let me step in
deliberately to
here.
target
It's
places
an expression of
worship Hindus.
majoritarianism. Viewers,
This
that
is
means
just a
even the
display of
courts...
a
One minute. Now, Mr.
majoritarian
Razack,
mindset.
don't interrupt. Now, don't interrupt, please. Now, the implicit assumption here is that even the courts are abetting in this majoritarianism. Now, listen to this view, Dr. Ranganathan. How do you respond to this view that there is a whole ecosystem that is pushing majoritarianism in this country?
Yes, good evening, Rahul, and good evening to all my panelists. But Rahul, I have first of all a grouse with you. Why do you hate me so much? I mean, I am itching like a junkie to reply to all those lies and perfidy of my good friend Mr. Abdul Razack Khan. इतना झूठ बोला कि Rahul, if I will waste all my time in replying to that. Please bring panelists who come prepared for the debate.
Okay, but Dr.
Otherwise, they eat
Ranganathan,
into my time.
The best thing
So,
is a
can I-
point-by-point rebuttal. If there was only one lie, you would only make one rebuttal. Now you have 7 or 8 rebuttals to make. Therefore, I have actually done you a favor, and the viewer, through you, a favor. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so left to him when he says we feel cheated, victim card bahar aa gaya. Mr. Khan feels cheated if somebody is not beheaded on account of quote unquote blasphemy. So let me ignore that, but I will address his rebuttal factually. As long as my good friend Mr. Razack Khan, please don't disturb me because I did not interrupt you. So yes, so Rahul, there are 3 issues here, and let me delve briefly into them. Number 1. I congratulate the Honorable Court for this verdict. The earlier refusal by the Gyanvapi Mosque management to allow court-sanctioned videography was an open mockery of our courts and a reaffirmation of sorts that for them Sharia is above all laws, something that incidentally Darul Uloom Deoband has stated publicly. My only grouse is that the Honorable Court should have asked for the videography to be beamed live so that the whole nation can see that vandalism and destruction of the grand Kashi Viswanath Temple carried out by that monster Aurangzeb. Number 2, it is beyond any doubt that Aurangzeb ordered the demolition of Kashi Viswanath Temple and ordered that the Gyanvapi Mosque be built over it. Only those who have read their history from the Romila Thapar WhatsApp University School believe otherwise. It is written in the most authentic biography of Aurangzeb. Thoda history to padh lo. It is embarrassing for a scientist to teach history. Masir-e Alamgiri. That I quote, in 1669 on orders of Aurangzeb, the Kashi Viswanath Temple was demolished. And then 1 year later, Aurangzeb ordered the demolition of the temple at Mathura, the birthplace of Lord Krishna, as Dr. Swamy was saying, and had the idol brought to Agra to be scattered under the steps of the Begum Sahab Mosque so that they would be trodden on. Indians ka khoon kyun nahi kholta, Mr. Khan? Ye aapke ancestors the. The Farman is also archived in Bikaner archives. And here is Sir Jadunath Sarkar's translation of Masir-e Alamgiri, page 52. Rahul,
Now,
did I not say,
one
did I
second.
not
Allow
request?
him to finish. You can respond.
Yes.
Please allow him to finish. Mr. Razack, I'll lower your fader. Please don't do this. Let's have a...
Thank
No
you.
one interrupted you. Please. Yes.
Thank you. And let me now rebut directly the banal arguments of Mr. Khan. Here is Sir Jadunath Sarkar's translation of Masir-e Alamgiri, page 52, quote, Aurangzeb, eager to establish Islam, issued orders to the governors of all provinces to demolish the schools and temples of the infidels and with the utmost urgency put down the teachings and the public practice of the religion of these misbelievers, unquote. Ye hai primary source. Finally, Rahul, 3. Rahul, history written by the victors is peddled by the vanquished, and we remain vanquished. In 2019, the virtue signaling Supreme Court, in its Ayodhya judgment, willfully ratified the Place of Worship Act 1991 that obligates maintaining all religious places as they were on August 15, 1947. Historical injustice of Kashi can now never be addressed unless Parliament overrides both the 1991 Act and the SC judgment. In a just world, Rahul, this would not have happened. a legal recourse to correct historical injustices cannot be done in a democracy. And this is not a Hindu issue, please. I, as a Darwinian atheist, demand the abrogation of the Place of Worship Act. Rahul, if a mosque had been demolished by a Hindu king and a temple built on it, I, a kafir and an atheist for whom Islam sanctions death penalty, would have fought for the rights of my Muslim brothers to legally get back their mosque. Religion doesn't come into it. Justice and pride in one's civilizations do. And just 10 seconds, Rahul, may I please humbly disagree with Dr. Swamy when he says we want only 3 out of the 44,000 temples demolished that were catalogued by Sitaram Goel. No! We must legally fight as an Indian for all 44,000. What do you mean 3?
Here you go.
Okay, well, there can be degrees of disagreement, viewers, on how many temples, etc. We will be speaking to Sadhguru, the spiritualist, in just a short time on this precise question. How far should we go? He will answer. Should we right all historical wrongs? Or are there some that matter more? Those are questions he'll answer in about 10 minutes, viewers. Do stick around because it's an important one. But I want to go to the Samajwadi Party spokesperson tonight, Abbas Haider Saab, and I want to ask you, one of your colleagues, Abu Azmi, says Muslims are being deliberately harassed. Another one of your colleagues, Fakhrul Hasan, says BJP government plays politics through mandir and masjid. Can you explain to our viewers how Mr. Abbas Haider is the BJP connected to what has happened in court today? Can you explain?
See, nobody in this country can defy the law or the court. Now, as far as the judgment is concerned, the court has appointed 2 additional advocate commissioners. They'll do the survey, and I hope the government get the survey done peacefully. Now, the thing is, my friend from I think the author friend, he was telling about the Ayodhya judgment. Now, Ayodhya judgment clearly states that they did not find any evidence that the mosque was built over a temple. This is a fact. This is not a friction. This is not a history which has been written 400, 500, 600 years back. Now, the government in Uttar Pradesh, the Bharatiya Janata Party government, they just want to divert the public attention. That's all they want to do. Yesterday, 16 lakh students in Haryana, their midday meal was stopped by the government. Just the government in Uttar Pradesh, the union government, they want to divert the public attention. This is what they want to do. The fiscal deficit is the highest. The inflation rate is the highest. The GDP is going. Look at the Morgan Stanley report which has just come.
No, but Mr. Haider, we are not having
a debate. And they just want to talk about Hindu, Muslim, mandir, masjid.
Okay,
this is
1 second. I asked you a fundamental, bunyadi sawal, jisko kehte hain. I asked you a fundamental question. Your colleagues, Abu Azmi, have said Muslims are being deliberately harassed. And I asked you, how are the courts harassing Muslims? Can you explain this, Abbas Haider? Are you suggesting that the court today is harassing Muslims?
It is not said about the court.
Then what is it said about?
Not at all. I, along with all the Indians in this country, have full faith in their judiciary and the court.
Okay, one minute. Then on that point, let me ask you, Mr. Haider, are you upset then that the committee did not implement the orders of the court that called for a survey? You must be unhappy with that committee.
Well, there were apprehensions. No, there were apprehensions.
Either you say
now
that you
it is
obey
being
the
cleared
order
by the court.
No, so
it
you
is
tell
cleared
me.
by the court.
No, one second. It was also decided by the court.
Of course, there were apprehensions. There was confusion. I have been saying this, that there was confusion.
There was no
that
confusion.
The court order does not state to go inside the barricade.
Now you're spreading more. No, you're spreading more fiction. Yes, 1 second. I just want to remind you, Mr. Haider,
High
of the
Court
facts.
judgment about Taj Mahal today.
Haider Saab, please don't bring in the Taj. That is a ridiculous move. Forget the Taj. No one supports that. That's idiotic.
No,
okay, at least I have the guts to say.
Just for the debate.
No, but Mr. Haider, I want to ask you, do you have the guts to say that what the committee did was contempt for the law that you hold so dear and for the courts that you say must be respected? I'm asking you, be honest. Put your hand on your heart.
This is one thing, I'm being honest, this is one thing I have been saying from past 4 or 5 days, that there are apprehensions. So let the court clear those apprehensions.
No, so they must have apprehensions so that they must physically block.
They are law-abiding
So they must
citizens.
physically block. Okay, Dr. Ranganathan wants to raise a point
follow
with
the
you.
court order.
Okay.
And
Dr.
government,
Ranganathan.
no, my question, one thing, just one thing. There's one question I have. Is the BJP government a party in this case? Or the Samajwadi Party or any other party? Political party should not be party in this case.
But
Let's
they're not.
politicize it.
But they're
this
not.
Matter is sub judice, let the court
But they're
decide.
not. But they're
This matter
not.
is sub judice, let the court
But they're not.
decide.
In fact, no, but they're not.
BJP spokesperson
No, 1 second. So Abbas Haider can tell me political party should not be. No, 1 minute. Political party should not be involved. Do you support the fact that Mr. Sibal showed up and argued in favor of delaying the Ayodhya verdict? He was, of course, part of a party also. Should he have?
I'm not spokesperson of Mr. Sibal.
You see, viewers, you ask them specific questions.
I can tell
they
you
say
about
there was
my
a
party.
misconception.
They are
You
not
ask
a
them
party.
a specific question.
And
they say,
I'm
not a spokesperson.
BJP government, BJP has got an absolute majority
they
few
will
months
pass a
back in
judgment
Uttar
nonetheless.
Pradesh. And I hope...
Dr. Ranganathan, yes, respond.
My reservation is that the Bharatiya Janata Party should try to maintain harmony in the state. They should not politicize this matter. They should not try to be a party in this.
You are not. Are you saying? Are you today holding the judge in contempt? Are you saying that the judge is part of the BJP? Is that what you're saying?
Not at all. No, I have said this twice. Neither any citizen of this country can defy the court or the law.
Let me ask you, Abbas Hydari, let me ask you.
Is BJP a party to it? Why did BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party president did not file a case against this suit?
No, Abbas Haider, do you know who went to court? 5 individuals went to court. None of them are members of the BJP. Are now Indian citizens not supposed to go to the court?
So what has Bharatiya Janata Party got to do with it?
But it hasn't got anything to do with it.
It's just a simple question. What has BJP got to do with it?
But it hasn't got anything to do with it.
Then why are they pretending to be a party?
They are not pretending to be a party. Where are they? Okay, Narasimha Rao, Mr. Narasimha Rao, are you a party to this case? Are you a party?
No.
Are you pretending to be a party?
We are not a party, but we are entitled to have our view on this.
They're entitled to have a view.
We have every right to have a view on this.
So what's the big deal?
And our view is, and I'm only stating that view. India,
Samajwadi Party has a view.
Under
they are the only ones allowed to have a view, is it?
Muslim rule.
Okay.
There has been...
Dr. Ranganathan wants to come in.
I think they have a view
religious intolerance led to destruction of Hindu culture and temples. That's a view that we hold.
There would have been an adverse judgment by the court, then BJP would have been...
Okay, 1 second. Dr. Ranganathan wants to come in. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan, you want to make a pointed intervention. Go ahead.
Rahul, can I please?
Yes.
Can I please? Because I am the one, unfortunately, who has to bear all these truth and lies and has to hear them. Unfortunately, I demolished like a JCB Mr. Khan's propaganda, and now let me demolish the propaganda and actually a contempt of Supreme Court by my good friend Mr. Haider. But I request a couple of minutes uninterrupted because I won't be able to otherwise. I know they're going to interrupt me continuously. But please, can you please mute them because I need 2 minutes. The nation really wants to learn this and how that these people are doing contempt of court by repeatedly maligning the Supreme Court, saying that it was a faith-based judgment. And now Mr. Haider says that there was no temple underneath the Supreme Court. So can I please quote from the Supreme Court? Yes, do I have 2 minutes, Rahul? I beg of you.
Yes,
can I please get 2 minutes?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Rahul, you can bury the truth, but a day will always come when it is excavated. And this is, I am now quoting directly from the Supreme Court Ayodhya judgment. Mr. Haider, I'm sure, please keep your ears open. The Supreme Court accepted the fact, and I quote, number 1, the Barbri Mosque was not constructed on vacant land. Number 2, the excavation indicated the presence of an underlying structure below the disputed structure. Number 3, the underlying structure was at least of equal, if not larger dimensions than the disputed structure. Number 4, the excavation of the walls of the underlying structure coupled with the presence of pillar bases upon supports the conclusion of the ASI of the presence of a structure underlying the disputed structure. Number 5, the underlying structure was not of Islamic origin. Number 6, archaeological finds in the area of excavation reveal significant traces of successive civilizations commencing with the age of the North Black polished ware traceable to the 2nd century BC. Number 7, on a preponderance of probabilities, the archaeological findings on the nature of the underlying structure indicate it to be of Hindu religious origin dating to 12th century AD. Number 8, the mosque in dispute was constructed upon the foundation of the pre-existing structure. Number 9, the layered excavation of the site of excavation has also revealed the existence of a circular shrine together with a Malaka Pranala indicative of Hindu worship dating back to the 8th to 10th century. Number 10, the underlying structure which provided the foundations of the mosque together with its archaeological features and recoveries are suggestive of a Hindu religious origin, unquote. ये है सच, ये है एससी का अयोध्या जजमेंट. कहां से उठा के आ जाते हैं और क्या बोल रहे हैं?
Let me also tell you, viewers, that the basement of the Gyanvapi mosque was open for many, many years and decades. It was, however, locked in 1991. No, 1 second, let me finish. These are facts, okay? Don't jump around.
Apologize, first of all, Abbas Haider.
No, they won't apologize. You're asking for too much. You're asking for too much. But the fact of the matter is, viewers...
No. Is that the word temple stated in the judgment?
History has been made today. No, 1 second. History has been made today, viewers. A survey is going to be conducted. A survey that has been demanded not by the BJP, or by the VHP, or by the Bajrang Dal, or by the RSS, but by 5 Indian citizens. Now the other side, if they have a grievance, can move a higher court and delay, and continue to delay, which they perhaps will do. Why? I don't know, viewers. What is it that they're trying to hide? What is it that they're scared will emerge, will be excavated by this survey? We don't know. But as of today, viewers, the survey is legal and it is going to go on. As